Um, I woke up this morning to a message from someone I've never met in a group that I'm part of. He said that his sister committed suicide last month because she woke up to what was going on in the world and started discussing it. And her friends turned against her, and this caused her to take her own life. And I felt that very deeply. I feel everything very deeply, and that's why I started this channel. It's not about me, this channel. It's about us. It's about the truth of what's going on. And what's going on is a war. We are at war. And it's a war that's been going on a very, very long time, and this is like the final act of that war. To those of you that are wearing masks and believing what the government tells you, firstly, please do not go against people that say the opposite to what you think. Everybody has the right to have their own opinion, firstly, and free speech should be something that you believe in. But you've had it taken out of you, and your government is lying to you. Even if there is a virus, which I doubt, and don't get angry at that, please listen to me. Even if there is a virus, there is no need for wearing masks. I mean, it's just patently ridiculous. You know, you have to wear a mask to go into a restaurant, but then once you sit down, you don't have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask in a supermarket, but as soon as you get out, you take it off. Just think about it. It doesn't make any sense. You can't go in a pub and have a pint unless you buy 10 quid's worth of food. Why have all the other pubs got to stay shut? It doesn't make any sense. And and last night I was looking at Twitter, and there's a guy in Ireland called Jim Core. Excuse me, a bit emotional, a bit run down, spots on my... No makeup on this show. There's a guy called Jim Core who's a musician in a band called The Cause. If you've never heard of them, really good band. And Jim has had extreme courage over the years to speak his truth. And yet you look on Twitter last night, his name was trending, and I had a look. And he was just basically saying, amazing to see so many people in Dublin yesterday standing up for the Save Our Children march. And there were people all over the world for this. Save Our Children, and I'll come to that in a minute, but the vitriol, the hatred, the death threats, the disgusting things that I saw against Jim Core last night, again, broke my heart. Because what have we become? What have we become? But then you look back at the history and you think about France in the Second World War and how that nation was divided by people that were supported the Nazi takeover, and the ones that were in the rebellion against them. And I know, I live in Ireland, and a country that has been consistently divided by religion. What? Ridiculous. They both believe in the same God, yet, people... I live in a town where, only 100 years ago there was a battle in the street where a woman stuck her head out the window and she got her head blown off. And she was... And nothing's changed. We're so easy to divide. And it's really time for that to stop. But, if you believe that the government's telling you the truth about this virus, you are sorely mistaken. Just look into your own heart. Just take a look into your own heart. Get rid of the fear. The fear is the thing that is getting in the way of your intellect. And it's really hard to see. I know it's hard to see. And who am I? I'm just a bloke. I'm just a bloke in a shed at the moment who... I bought this book in here. This is called Full Spectrum Dominance by F. William Engdahl. Now, I saw him speak 7 or 8 years ago in Manchester with Ian R. Crane and a guy from near here actually called, whose name's going to elude me, but it'll come back to me in a minute. I just want to read the back of this book to you, because this is the kind of thing that I've been reading over the years. So, you know, I didn't just wake up one day and go, oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist. It didn't happen that way. It was a very slow process over 30 years. It was 30 years ago that I realised the government was lying to us when I worked for the government. I used to work for the British government, for the Queen of England. I had a Queen's Commission, and I saw them lying, and I couldn't believe it. I believed in them so much. I believed in Queen and country. I believed in my people, my land. I believed that I was joining something that was, you know, standing up for freedom. But it's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. The people in government that are talking to you now about the virus, I mean, they're even telling you to your face. Even the Taoiseach in Ireland said, like a couple of days before he left office, he said, oh, by the way, we got all the figures wrong on COVID-19. And then a week later, right, now everybody wear your masks. I mean, come on. Use your common sense. Please use your common sense. And don't have a go at those that aren't wearing masks, because even if you believe that the masks work, why the fuck do you give a shit about the other people not wearing masks? I mean, even if you believe that they work, why would you be worried about other people? It just beggars belief how stupid we've become. And this is why. I'm going to read the back of this book, and this will hopefully, please God that you listen to this. Totalitarian democracy in the New World Order. For the faction controlling the Pentagon, the military industry and the oil industry, the Cold War never ended. They engineered an incredible plan to grab total control of the planet, of land, sea, air, space, outer space and cyberspace. Continuing below the radar, they created a global network of military bases and conflicts to advance the long-term goal of full-spectrum dominance. Methods included control of propaganda, use of NGOs for regime change, colour revolutions to advance NATO eastwards, and a vast array of psychological and economic warfare techniques. They even used Save the Guerrilla operations in Africa to secretly run arms in to create wars for raw materials. It was all part of a revolution in military affairs, and they termed it, The events of September the 11th, 2001 would allow an American president to declare a worldwide war on terror, on an enemy who was everywhere and nowhere. 9/11, doesn't that sound like the virus? The invisible enemy. Trump calls it the invisible enemy for a reason. And by the way, Trump talks in code. If you hate Trump, you're falling into a trap, because what he says is not what he's saying. You know, the invisible enemy is really the people that have been running this program. He is fighting for you. And you know, I say to my children, one of my kids said to me the other day, Trump's a paedophile. And I said, no, Trump is taking the paedophiles out. And if it wasn't for Trump, we'd already be dead. And just listen to the end of this and you'll see what I mean. Declare a worldwide war on an enemy who was everywhere and nowhere. 9/11 justified the Patriot Act. And by the way, please check the interview that I did with Matt Campbell, my very good friend, whose brother died in 9/11. On this channel, there's an interview with him which explains how we have potentially the best chance for 9/11 truth by Matt opening up and his family opening up an inquest again into his brother's death, because he's never had any justice there. He needs your support. We all need to support this, because 9/11 was blatantly not what they said it was. Blatantly. If you believe that 9/11 was what they told you, wake the fuck up. Just go and look at Building 7. World Trade Center 7 collapsed in its own footprint in seconds. It was a controlled demolition. It happened. The BBC reported on it 20 minutes before it actually happened. They're lying to you. Wake up. This justified the Patriot Act, the very act that destroyed Americans' constitutional freedoms in the name of security. same as what's happening now. This book gives a disturbing look at the strategy of full spectrum dominance, at what is behind a strategy that they could lead us into a horrific nuclear war in the very near future. And at the very least, to a world at continuous war. Who benefits from war? Who sells the weapons to both sides? Who controls both sides? The bankers. The pharmaceutical industry. Who owns them? Follow the money. Follow the money. Look, I know that look, nuclear war, it says on the back, with this fantastic book, a fantastic researcher, F. William Engdahl. Go and get it. Read it. Read it. Wise up. This is what's happening. So he says at the end here, this was written a few years ago, he says, into a horrific nuclear war. Now, Hillary Clinton's job, when she was supposed to become president, was to take us into a nuclear war with Iran. We'd be dead now. If that had happened, we'd all be dead. So what's been happening? So, Trump, it doesn't matter whether you like him, it doesn't matter whether you don't like orange hair or faces, all that stuff that you think about him, sexist, racist, misogynist, it's the opposite. Everything they do is inverted. He has been working with an organisation that has been trying to get rid of these fuckers for years. This is a very, very long-term plan that they had. Very long-term, thousands of years. The reason why we can't believe it is because to most human beings, the idea that there are other people out there that could have sex with babies is so horrific, we can't contain it in our heads. But I'm here to tell you, it's true. It's true. Why do you think Prince Andrew has not been arrested yet? Why do you think Prince Charles's best friend, Jimmy Savile, his best friend, right, who was introduced to him by his uncle, a known and recorded paedophile. Mountbatten was a paedophile. Charles was given to Mountbatten by his father, right? Philip, a man that I met, a man whose hand I shook, the most evil person I ever met in my entire life. These people want you dead. A friend of mine who's an artist said to me, he foresaw this coming during a breakdown about 20 years ago, and he said everybody was in masks getting ready for their medication, and now we have the whole world is like a mental institute, and it is. People are killing themselves because of this. This is war, okay? Those masks are making you ill. It breaks my heart to see old people walking down the street with their masks on because they're being told to. They are suffocating themselves. They are breathing in their own bacteria. It's going to cause lung disease. It's going to cause a breakdown of your immune system. If you're really worried about your health, take zinc, vitamin C, magnesium, vitamin D3. Eat organic if you can. These are things that are going to keep you healthy. Everybody's mineral deficient. Everybody, because of what they've done to the soil. They've been poisoning us. Full spectrum dominance. They've been poisoning us with chemtrails, with GMO foods, with fluoride in our water. It's been going on for so long and we can't see it. Please, 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 if you are awake, please don't be afraid. It's time to stand up. I only started. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be sat in the shed on a Sunday morning talking to you guys about this. I've got kids to bring up. I've got a business to run. I've got a life to live. But right now, we're at war. We are at war. I think there's hope. I think the good guys are winning. But I can't prove it. So, what can I do? Well, all I can do is things like this right now. So I want you to look inside your heart and think, what can I do? What can I do to help my neighbour? What can I do to help my health? What can I do right now that's going to help? And please, if you still believe the government, please, please do some research. It's all out there. The information is all out there. There are loads of books like this telling you. People have been trying to tell us forever. Yeah? Because this is real. This is not a joke. I want to give my condolences to that friend in the group. He knows who he is, and he knows who his sister is, and she's one victim of this, and I don't want her or anybody or another child. In fact, I'm going to finish on this, because the Save Our Children rallies that have been going across the world, we need to understand this, or we're going to face this. There are 22,000 children per day going missing across the world. 8 million children. 8 million. Where do they go? Where do they go? They get taken into underground bases. They get taken into tunnels. There's a vast network of tunnels. He even mentions it on the back of this book. He says here something about underground bases. I can't see it, but there's underground bases. Something like 10,000 deep underground bases across the planet. A network of bases that I believe are being taken out. I hope, I pray to God that they are being taken out. I think they are. And there's children being rescued from these bases, because there are children down there that have never seen daylight. There are children down there that are bred and harvested for adrenochrome. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, go and look it up. It's horrific beyond belief, but it's real, and it's time for us to face facts. And it's time for us to stand up. Get a backbone. Stand up. Say something. Do something. Change your behaviour. Stop worrying about what your neighbours think. It's time for us all to wake up. And if it comes to pitchforks in the street, then so be it.